Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here. And first thing I want to say is thank you so much for getting up and giving out part of your day on a Saturday morning. This is a great thing about our country. People get involved. Thank you for what you do for helping our party, and thank you for helping make democracy work. You know, when I knew we were going to be in Ankeny High School, I was hoping we were going to be in the gymnasium, because up on the wall there is the picture of my niece Lindsay from the state championship basketball team. But you know what? This is a great room here as well. First thing I'd like you to know about me is that I am a business guy. I have not run for any political office before. I've never held any office before. But I care very deeply about this country, and I'm very concerned that we're on the wrong track. When I see a statistic like the fact that the number of families on food stamps has nearly doubled in the last 5 years, that is a clear sign to me that the opportunity to live the American dream, to be self-sufficient, is not working for a lot of American families. And that's the very principle that has made us the great country that we are today. This has always been a place where if you worked hard, you could have that opportunity to live the American dream, you could be self-sufficient, and it's that motivation to work hard that's allowed us to achieve the standard of living we have today. A little bit about me. I grew up born and raised in Des Moines. My dad, Frank, started a small family business, so I had the benefit of growing up around that and hearing all the dinner table conversations. My first job was delivering newspapers, and as we've had the cold, snowy winter, it brought back all sorts of memories of getting up at 3:30 in the morning to go deliver the Des Moines Register. And one of the things I always did is I had my customers leave their storm doors unlocked. And I'd put the paper inside the storm door so that they wouldn't have to be exposed to the elements in getting their morning paper. And that took a little extra effort, but you know what? It made a difference for my customers. Later in high school, I worked at the Hy-Vee Deli. I worked after school the night shift. I very quickly figured out what that meant. That meant I was scrubbing pots and pans they dirtied up during the day shift. But I learned a lot from those experiences. I learned the value of hard work. I learned the value of a dollar. Those are things that have stayed with me my whole life. From a personal standpoint, my wife Janet and I have been married 25 years. We've got 3 awesome kids. We're a Christian family. And one of the ways that we put our faith into practice is we've taken our entire family down to Central America each year for the last 5 years. And we've worked hand in hand with a family down there that was previously living in a dirt floor shanty. And we worked with them to build them a new home. So I've seen the transformative impact you can have on someone's life when you give them a hand up versus a handout. And that guides a lot of my thinking about how we do have a moral obligation to help those in need, but how we can help them with a hand up as opposed to creating a class of dependency through perpetual handouts. So I spent my entire career in the business world. I ended up being CEO of a company by the name of Reliant Energy, which is a large electric power company. I retired from that a couple years ago, and I've been focused on opportunities to give back to our state. And I've taught at Iowa State. I started a nonprofit organization to work on improving public education in the state. And I want to share one of the experiences I had with you in the business world that I certainly learned a lot from. When I was originally brought into Reliant Energy, it was a company that was on the verge of bankruptcy. It owed over $6 billion to a large group of banks. Those banks had lost confidence in the leadership of the company, and they were ready to step in and take over control. And the day I walked in, I said, I am not going to let this company fail on my watch. And I had a couple principles upon which I was not going to negotiate. I wasn't going to settle for a short-term solution. I wasn't going to hand over control of the company to the banks, but I worked with them. And I listened to them, and ultimately we were able to come up with an alternative plan that was better for the company, and it turned out to be pretty good for that group of banks as well, because they got repaid every penny that they were owed in less than 2 years, and we protected thousands of jobs. So I know what it's like to inherit a fiscal mess, and more importantly, I've learned in the private sector how to work with people to solve problems. You know, it's easy to work with people who share your perspective, same points of view. It's a lot harder to work with people who have different points of view, yet still get done what needs to get done in a way that's consistent with your principles and values. And I think that's what's missing in Washington D.C. today. So if you send me to Washington, D.C. as your next senator, I will commit to tackle deficits, debts, all the problems we have in this country, restore opportunity, and do that in a way of working with people. Thank you very much.